just before Dennis passed, he said to me, "I'm so sorry I'm leaving you with such a complicated mess." I hope there haven't been a whole lot of widows that have gone through this. I hope not, because it's horrendous. It really is. I'm not young. I know everyone says I don't look 81. I am 81 years old, and this happened when I was 80. So it was pretty devastating. I mean, it would be at any age, but as you get older, it's more and more devastating. Your emotional state is just, it's not quite as strong as you were when you, I mean, I think back 60 wouldn't have been as much of a problem. It would have been hard, but I could have coped with it and not been really as angry as I was at Dennis. And mainly Dennis for not, because I approached him so many times about having to be prepared for an emergency, like you said.
Yeah.
And he would not do it, nor would he do it for his funeral. I had one page in there, the sale of his plot. That's all that's in there. That's it. So that's kind of sad, yeah, but true. They cannot leave their wives. That's the only reason I'm doing this, because I almost canceled on you. I thought, I really want to do this, but I want to do it for all those women that I just don't want the same thing to happen to them. Because it's been a living nightmare. It really has. It's been a living nightmare. I mean, it would have been easy if United Healthcare just said, okay, just like they selected, then it would have been easier. But it still was a nightmare not knowing anything when I walked into that. I was just in shock. I'm thinking, I'm looking around, I wouldn't even know where to begin. So that's why I said what I did, that it felt like I was experiencing a tsunami multiplied by millions, because it's how I felt inside.
Did you have any idea what to do?
Zero. No, I didn't know what to go to first. Nothing. It was really a big blank. And I was in shock. And that's why Terry said, "Mom, you go home. We'll take care of this, Because Doug was there and Terry was there, and I walked in. I thought, well, I asked, is there something I can do to help? And Terry said, "No, Mom, just go on. You just need to go home." I think she saw I was just kind of in shock. I wouldn't know what to do. Know that he said that the commissions, that I get 6 months probably worth of commissions, and that's all I would get. But I didn't put two and two together that it would just stop. No, I didn't know that until you told me. One day it's just going to stop.
So any other words of wisdom to people that might, to help hopefully not experience what you've experienced?
I think it's just the matter of fact of communication between the spouses, so that they are aware of what their spouse, what their husband or wife, what they're doing, what entails, what should I know, some basic things about your business, so in case you're in an accident or you happen to pass, that I would know where to begin or what to do. Some type of an idea of how to run the business, who to call, that type of thing. Just basic information would have been very helpful to me. Yeah. If I knew enough that I was to sell it within 2 months, and just how to go about selling your business. That's the main thing, because I don't think any of the spouses are going to run down and take the test and try to be study and take the test and want to be an aide. Pretty much want to sell it right away, I would think. Wouldn't you? I mean, how many wives are going to say at 60, in their 60s, "Oh, now I'll become an agent"? I think they'd want to sell it. Yeah. When you get into that age bracket, you do not particularly want to start over again. You're going towards retirement. But Dennis told me right from the beginning, I never want to retire. So I knew he would want to work until he died, which he did.
Do you think if he would have had any idea of what he was going to leave you, the mess, do you think he would have wanted to at least have a conversation?
Yes, absolutely. because I could feel him apologizing and telling me. So he's very grateful that we went through the process, because we could have just burned it all up and taken the 6 months and the kids would have gotten that and that's it. And he's very grateful to Terry, and he every day tell Terry how grateful I am to her. And I'm so sorry, honey, that I've left you this way. And I was so angry that I said, I hope you're feeling what I'm feeling. I want you to feel the way I'm feeling. And I think some of it I know he was, because I could feel his sadness. So I know he was, but I wanted him to. I was so angry at him for leaving me this way that I wanted him to feel the way I was feeling. I still feel, I may look 81 outside, but inside I'm 150. That's what I feel like, 150. I really do. And I think.
How many of those years were put on by having to go through what you just went through with the business?
With the business?
Yeah.
Well.
Did that age you by a couple years?
I think it aged me inside, because I kept wanting him to think about cutting back. As people died, he wanted to beef it up. And I said, well, why don't you just let them die gradually and then get it down to where you can have your business part-time and then start coming to the temple with me every week and doing family histories. Well, when he wanted to, just before he passed, I said, honey, do you want, because we still thought he was going to, this, was like 5 or 6 days before. Honey, do you want to start going to the temple with me every week and start doing family histories? She said, yes, I think I'm going to sell the business now. Yeah, I think he would have done it. If he had known he was that sick, he would have sold the business way before he did. But we were in the dark. We did not know he had 50% damage to his heart. And he looked so good. I mean, working 18-hour days for 9 weeks every year, and working the way he was working and looking healthy. Of course, I fed him the right things. He ate the right things. He exercised every day. I think that's the only thing that kept him going and looking so good. But when it went fast, because age gets to you. You get to be almost 83. It was 82. Yeah, almost 82. So yeah, I think he would have wanted to talk to me if he had known me with this complicated mess. Understatement. Very much of an understatement. You think it's too strong to tell the agents that how I felt?
No, I think that's important.
The analogy of walking into a room of PhDs,
I think,
and you're in pre-kindergarten, having no knowledge of the insurance business.
No, I mean, what you and I both want to help spouses understand is that a little bit of planning goes a long way.
Absolutely.
Right.
Just like with anything.
Yeah.
Be prepared. I'm a Girl Scout. I was a girl. Be prepared. I felt him apologizing and telling me how sorry that he left me with this extremely complicated mess, and that at the end, he was going to sell the business before he died. I'm going to sell it. This is like the day before he died. And he said, I'm going to sell the business, and yes, I want to start coming to the temple with you. But that was the day before he passed. It's too late. Yeah. But yeah, if we could rewind everything, if he knew what he was going to leave me with, I think he would have been able to do it. Even as hard as it would have been for him to do it, to let go and let someone else trust someone, with his business, I think he would have done that for me, yes. Because I know he felt very guilty and I know he felt badly for a long time, because I could feel that he was in pain too. And which is sad, but you know what? I was so angry at him, I was glad he was in the pain I was in. Because I was so angry at him, since I approached him many times about showing me about the business, tell me what you want to do when you pass away. Just would have one little folder. I know that if Dennis knew what he was going to put me through, he would have put aside the feelings that he had, which were pretty difficult for him to trust anybody with anything. I wasn't familiar with Dennis's business, only a portion of the clients that I knew, and I did go to Tremont every year for the 4 meetings, so I did know his clients, but I didn't know anything about running the business or anything as far as business was concerned, I guess.
You think if we could turn back time and Dennis could do it different, do you think he would do it different, knowing what he's put you and your family through?
Oh, I think he would now, even in bondage. I think he definitely would.
What do you think he would have done differently?
I think he would have had me come into the office and sit me down and show me the contracts of all the different businesses that he was selling, because there was mostly the Select and United Healthcare, but there for a while there was Aetna. There were 4 or 5 that he was selling. I think he would have, we would have gone through the different companies and all the contracts of what they expect. At least that would be pretty helpful to know that you have to sell a business within 2 months of your death. That would have, I don't think Dennis would that, well. I'm sure if you didn't know their family.
So if you would have had a little bit more knowledge of what to do if something happened, whether it's just retiring or an emergency or
right. That's what I was trying to get for an emergency. Yeah. Let's say, honey, you have an accident and you're laid up and can't talk for a week or something. I said, I need to know what needs to be done with the business. And if he had just had me in, shown me the contracts, what is expected, even though not having the knowledge of how to actually sell, at least I would have had some knowledge of the business itself and what it entails. That would have been, pretty helpful to have known. It would have been very helpful to have known that you have to sell it within 2 months. That would have been extremely helpful, because to me, that's, like I said, I think it's very cruel of a company to do that when you're still mourning. I mean, you're mourning many more months than 2 months. And there's so much to do to prepare even for a funeral.
Dennis would have had those simple talks with you about his business.
Yeah.
Just like Terry knows exactly what to do now.
Right.
You would have known what to do.
Exactly. Yeah, I would have known what to do because he was right by her side telling her what to do. So if he had told me what to do, I could have written it down, gone to his office for several times so that I would know how to keep things going until I was able to sell the business. Oh yes, I think if he had to do it again, rewind time, absolutely. He would. If he had known that he was going to leave me with what he left me with, I know he would have overcome his bondage, so to speak. He would have told me what to do and how to do it. And all I got was call Doug Draper. He'll tell you what to do. But I thought, oh, well, that'll be easy. Yeah. I'll just call Doug and he's going to take care of it for me. I won't have to do anything. I had no idea that this was that Terry would have to do this, or I have to burn everything up and get 6 months worth of the commissions. I think quite highly of Stonehill and the management. Yeah, the upper echelon that I met. Absolutely, yeah. And that I did. I felt a great peace as soon as you came and started talking, that we're going to sell it. Of course, at that time we thought it was going to be sold right away, and everything would fall into place because you didn't know about the problems that we were going to face. And that's the thing, when the husband and the agent does not speak to their spouse and explain these things, you have no idea of the problems that can occur during the process when you don't know anything about the business. And there's so many problems that come up. But no, I felt really very peaceful when you came. I felt, okay, Dennis's business, it's in good hands. Stonehill will take care of us. And you did, I mean. But no, I felt very, very good and very at peace about Stonehill, selling to Stonehill. I knew that Dennis's business was in very, very good hands, that you did the very best. And you did. You went way out of your way. I mean, you had your lawyers working on it, the extra mile. I felt your company did. And I know you tried. And I know it's only because of you that they didn't close it a second time. We could have ended up with just $10,000 and that would have been it. But I don't know what you said to open their eyes to that I was out of town and couldn't do anything about it. And kind of nasty to do it the 27th of December.
How was it working once we started working with you and Terry? How was that experience?
Oh,
working with Stonehill.
That was like going from hell up to celestial kingdom. That's how I would, the analogy there. I mean, from not knowing anything, and as soon as Doug came, and I still was in a state of shock. I know he was doing his business, but as soon as you came, and I knew that you were aware of what was going on, I felt a great peace about the whole thing, that I knew that Dennis's business was in good hands with Stonehill, mainly.
You're kind.
The only way that I know how to share my feelings with you agents is to describe my feelings in the selling of Dennis's business by using an analogy. When I walked into Dennis's office, it was like walking into a room with PhDs, and I was in pre-kindergarten with no knowledge of the insurance business. I didn't even know where to begin. It felt like I was experiencing a tsunami multiplied by millions. It's difficult enough with the loss of a loved one, but you can't even begin to imagine the trauma and stress of selling a business without any knowledge of how to proceed or what to do with the problems that occur. It has been over a year since Dennis's passing, and finally, the selling of his business has come to fruition. I know you would not want your loved ones to have the same experience I've had. Please, agents, I beg you, I would not want to see any of your spouses go through such an ordeal. There is an easy way to avoid this enormous burden of selling your business. I plead with you agents to go to Jeff Jones and counsel with him. He will show you a process that takes very little time to complete. Then your loved ones will never have to experience the immense burden that could be placed on their shoulders. Just before Dennis passed, he said to me, "Honey, I'm so sorry I'm leaving you with such a complicated mess." What an understatement.